Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're talking about the secret update that's going to happen after Underwater Labs for Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And yes, I'm Jade Monkey. Okay, so just to clear the air, the next big update that's coming for us that hits testing branch first is Underwater Labs. Things with submarines, our first procedural monument. It's a big deal. It's going to be awesome for sure. And that will essentially release fully, I think, at the end of May, and it should hit testing branch here in probably less than a week by the time you see this, end of April. Anyways, after that is the secret update. So these are the candidates that we'll be talking about. We're still not sure what this is, but we've narrowed down a few options that I think are very viable. I'll cover these and also tell you my reasoning behind it and how it's possible with the current situation that we have. And yes, for all systems, core systems, pro systems, and next gens. All right, so the first one I think is kind of obvious is going to be the junkyard slash modular vehicles. Modular vehicles or cars is definitely a possibility. We've actually seen the junkyard inside of the custom server list. We've seen other things kind of point to cars as well. Some of the modular vehicle parts have shown up in some of the listings. So we do know that they've been working on this for quite some time. So it's definitely a possibility. And honestly, with the maps being larger, this is definitely something that I think we would want. So yes, the cars come like I said, with the junkyard here, this comes with the ability to drop in crusty cars or even modular cars, and it creates scrap and other raw materials. You can actually use the crane to magnetize and drop things in. And this is now anchored to this area. It didn't used to be. You can actually drive it around, but now it should be tethered to the junkyard area. So, you know, sad panda. But with these cars, not only does this bring in speed to the map, this is going to bring your ability to custom build these bad boys for different things. Now, at first, people are like, oh, you know, I don't think the maps are that big, not a big deal. For a lot of people, it is, but it's more than just transportation. In this case, think about this. You're a solo, and you want to go farming. This has the ability to spawn you inside. And yes, these little compartments here are small lockers. You can lock this vehicle, so only you, it's essentially, you can put a code lock on there, just like your door in your base. You can make this armored, so it's harder to shoot into. You can put more compartments in the back, so you can use this bad boy to raid with. You can use this to do some aggressive farming, and if you get smoked, you can just respawn inside of this, jump into the cab, and drive away if you want to. It has so many different options. You can do smaller chassis, larger chassis. It has so many capabilities, and I think it'll be a fantastic addition for sure. And some of the dependencies for these would be electricity. You actually need this lift here with electricity to add things like the code lock and to change around these different modules. As the name implies, it's modular vehicles. So we already have those. We know that's a thing. We know that we can move around with a lot of speed inside of the custom servers. That'll be kind of a theme for some of these options here. So I think it's definitely possible. If you had this totally souped up with the maximum amount of speed, I still think it's definitely doable for us. So if this isn't a part of the secret update, I do think modular vehicles will be sometime soon. There's just so much work done on this, and it'll be such a big win when we do get this down the road. So that's the first one, modular vehicles. Let's move on to the next one, which could be a bit more shocking, but I'll walk you through why I think this is definitely doable. So this particular monument is massive. And by the way, there has been communication with Pedro saying that this update is massive, and this is another reason why I kind of tip towards this one. Because at first you'd think this isn't possible, but I think it is. And again, I'll fill you in on why. This is part of it here. These are actually all around the map. You can see a little camera on the top. We'll try to go through this as quick as possible because this is actually, we got a lot to cover. Down here you have access, and again, let's see if I can find the room. I think it's right here. You've got a little computer station over here somewhere. If I hit the right room, I don't think I did. And you can actually look around different areas here. But what we're covering, this may be familiar to some, this is actually the underground tunnels, the train system. That's right, that's real. Look, you've got predetermined areas there at the top. Nice, right? And you can actually take these codes and type them in for yourself back at your base, and you can use your own computer station. But yes, these underground tunnels, these train tunnels, are quite possible. And you might be saying to yourself, Jade, that's crazy. We have a hard enough time just running full speed with horses. Okay, I hear you. But the way the game works, the way Unity works, the way most of these games work, when we're underground, the top portion of the map is not even rendered. So it takes all of that off the table. So essentially, you're just rendering these tunnels. and everything else inside, which is a lot less than the surface area when you think about it. All the bases don't have to be rendered, all the terrain, the trees, all of it, just these small areas. So because of that, I think it's very possible. And that's why I think this is going to come before the surface trains. And yes, down here, if you go to the platform, this connects the entire map. Oh my goodness. And yes, these little cuties that are shooting at us, this is a whole new faction down here. You guys get to see what a good shot I am. And by good, I mean terrible. All right, let's just get it back up here. And yes, these train cars are gassed by low grade. Let me just get this last guy here so we can talk about this. Oh my goodness, there's so many. There's really great loot down here, but it's a great way to traverse the map and get to some of the monuments. Because you know what it's like. Sometimes the Chads are camped out upstairs next to like your favorite monument. So this is a nice way to sneak up, whether you're a small group, solo, or any group size, really. And you've got these little trains. I don't know if there's any in here at the moment, but these do move around. You can control them. So it is another way to, I think there's one down here, right? Maybe? Ah, yes, here we go. And because these trains don't go terribly fast, again, I think it's definitely a viable option for us. Wait, I forgot. I put them in the back. Hello. I was looking on the inside like it was a helicopter or something. Jeez. But you see, we got different speeds. You can go back and forth. And these are crazy. You can actually have these run. And the train battles that you'll have in these tunnels are so much fun. So I do think these are in the future again for us, for Rust Console Edition. And I think this is definitely a viable option for the secret update. Again, we'll have to wait and see once we get more clues, but I definitely think this is one of them. I mean, how much fun is this? Look, you just do a little peek and be like, hats, 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 hats. It's as cool as you think it is and more. Is there a guy right here? Oh no, he's just sitting up. What a cutie. And yes, if I bring up the map real quick, you can actually see these are all interconnecting all of the different monuments, and you go up to the different safe zones. It's such a great way to dip out and just traverse. It's a blast. Now, I don't think we'll get the surface trains. I guess there's a small possibility we might have one shot, but I think moving at that speed and the surface is its whole other thing. This came in chunks on the PC. It was first the underground tunnels, and then the surface trains, and then they connected them semi-recently. I think these underground tunnels will be on the table first for us. It just makes more sense. And again, like I said, with performance, literally the map above us is not being rendered right now, just down here, and that's it. So it makes it much more accessible for us because we have limited resources. That's just the way it is. And actually, if I kind of cut out here, you can see what I'm talking about. You see how it's just these tunnels here? Kind of wraps around a bit. So anyways, ooh, that's so creepy going through that void. Woo, scary. So yes, I think the underground tunnels, the underground trains are definitely a possibility. Okay, so let's move on to this next piece here. And I guess it's worth mentioning too. A lot of people were talking about minis not being a possibility. Here's the thing. I think they're on the table at some point. Because actually, as we're moving to this location for this next possible thing for the secret update, the sheer fact that we can move at this speed, I think minis, I think trains, and I think modular vehicles are a possibility because we can go at this speed right now on our custom servers as an admin. You know, tugboats and submarines don't go faster than this. This is like the maximum speed for most things that are in the game. So essentially, if you can load in a custom server as an admin and fly like this on a core system, PlayStation or Xbox, and it doesn't crash, it's possible. It's now possible for these things to happen. So just keep that in mind. I know it's not as easy as just porting things over, but I'm just saying things like modular vehicles, horses, or even minicopters weren't a possibility before, but because with the most recent improvements, I think it is now. And it's definitely on the table. But let's cover the last piece that I think is going to be a part of the secret update, or potentially part of the secret update. You guessed it, industrial update, or as other people call it, electric furnaces. This is a massive one. And the reason why I think this is a possibility is, yes, it fits the description that Pedro said that this is going to be a massive update. It is a big one for sure, but we have all of the other prerequisites for this one as well. We have the electrical system. We have the water system, which honestly, the water system is a subset, basically, of the electrical system. I mean, it's the same idea, right? You connect pipes to things. But this one is crazy. So, yes, you can do things like put raw materials inside of a box, raw metal, raw sulfur, and wood, and you can turn this on. It goes to the furnace. Actually, it turns on the furnace, the large furnace. It will cook these things and then move them over here and sort them. This would be the raw metal. This would be the sulfur. And this would be the charcoal. By the way, love these miniature base boxes. How cool are these? I mean, come on. So here, I'll show you. What this is going to do is this is going to pull out of this box here. And when we have this active, let me see if I get this without pulling it up, without messing this all up. Let me see if I hold this here. We're going to pull all of these at one time. Here's the maximum that we want in the container. Minimum stack, so they have to be full stacks. And it's going to move these all at once. And when it does, there's actually another button on the outside here, or an output for the electricity. And it just sends a pulse to this, which will actually in turn light this furnace at the same time. So here, I'll show you. If we just hit this, we can either turn it on here, or we can hit the green button. Do we get it? Is it going to go? Is it going to go? Is it going to go? Is it not going to light it for us? Hang on, maybe we're going to turn it on. I thought it was cool. Okay, hang on. Man, that blew up in my face. Well, I guess I messed this up because maybe I disconnected. But anyways, you're able to connect this, and this will actually spark this on at some point. But let's just remove the automatic igniter part. This is working. So if we go inside of here, you see it slowly picking off the top. Man, we really blew it on that one. And it's cooking it down here. And as these are getting cooked, you can see they're actually being moved out. And yes, with this industrial update, it will change things like our standard furnace, our large furnace, our bubbler, I'm sorry, the refinery, that's what it's called. So you can see we can actually cook lots of things at once. We don't have to worry so much about splitting and slots and all that stuff. So you can see this is actually being moved off in real time, even though I messed up the ignition part. So you can see that this is actually sorting it out. This should be growing up slowly. There we go. This one's going up slowly. So think about it. If you're a large compound, and you know how it's always a risk to be cooking outside, this can be moving your materials from here to your boxes on the interior. Now, these pipes have to have actual gaps the size of the pipes. They do go through doorways and windows, but you can't just put them through walls. So also keep that in mind. And yes, we have electric furnaces. That's essentially how most people identify this update. But it does include all these extra things. But yes, you can start to cook your raw materials with just electricity. That's a real thing. You won't get charcoal, though, unless you put wood inside of these little furnaces. So you can turn that sun power into cooking power. It's as cool as you think it is. And I think we've got a, is this an example here? Yeah, there we go. Light up all these furnaces. And yes, you can put these vacuum tubes on the outside and actually move things in and move them out as they get cooked. And you can get as complex or as simple as you want to get. And you can see the bubble over here with these different pieces. Now, you might be like, you know, I'm not really going to use stuff like this. Oh, I bet you will. How many times have you had a base build and you're like, I don't have enough slots in my TC? Well, guess what? You can put this on top of your tool cupboard and expand it with another box. That's real too. Yeah, crazy. And yes, that's a tool cupboard skin. Man, I want those for us so badly. So yeah, the industrial update is just a crazy good update, and I think it's definitely a possibility for us for the secret update. Now, as far as when all these things come in, we're still not sure with the secret update. We just do know it's going to be after the underwater labs when that does come in. So mad exciting for this. And again, once this comes in, once the underwater labs does hit, I think we'll have more clues and we'll have a better idea of what the secret update is going to be. Hopefully they just tell us in a dev blog. That would be fantastic. But until then, we'll keep you guys updated as soon as we get stuff. And if you'd like to know when offline raids will go obsolete, be sure to check out this video already on the end screen now. And hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream /video. Love you. Bye.